Once upon a time, deep in a lush green forest, there lived an old owl. The owl made its home high up in a tall oak tree, where it could observe everything that happened below. The forest was full of life, with animals of all kinds, deer, rabbits, squirrels, and birds, all bustling about, each with their own concerns and activities. Unlike the other animals, who were always busy and quick to speak, the owl was quiet and observant. Throughout the day and night, the owl would sit perched on a high branch, silently watching everything that took place in the forest. The deer would leap through the meadows, the squirrels would chatter and argue over nuts, and the birds would sing and gossip from tree to tree. But the owl remained silent, taking in all that happened with his sharp eyes and keen ears. The other animals often wondered why the owl was so quiet. "Why does the owl never speak?" they would ask each other. "Does he have nothing to say?" Little did they know, the owl was learning from everything he saw and heard. He watched as the young fawn learned to walk by watching its mother, and he listened as the birds taught their chicks to fly. The owl observed the changing seasons and how each animal adapted to the challenges they faced. Through his silence and careful observation, the owl gained a deep understanding of the world around him. One day, a great storm swept through the forest. The wind howled, trees swayed, and the animals hurried to find shelter. When the storm passed, the forest was left in disarray. The animals were scared and unsure of what to do. They gathered around the old oak tree, chattering anxiously. In their panic, they looked up at the owl, hoping he would have some wisdom to share. The owl, who had remained calm and thoughtful throughout the storm, finally spoke. His voice was steady and wise. "Nature is powerful, but we can rebuild what was lost," the owl said. "Look at the roots of the trees, they are strong and still hold the earth together. Work together to clear the debris and help each other rebuild your homes. In time, the forest will be as beautiful as before." The animals listened to the owl's advice and followed his instructions. Slowly but surely, they worked together to restore their forest. And as the days passed, they realized the truth. The owl, who had spoken so little, was indeed the wisest of them all. From that day on, the animals respected the owl's silence and valued his words even more. They understood that wisdom comes not from speaking often, but from listening, observing, and speaking only when necessary. And so, the story of the wise old owl teaches us that wisdom grows in silence and observation, and that those who speak less often have the most meaningful things to say.